Hey guys, so today we're going to go over a little bit of security in AWS. To start, we'll kind of go back to CloudWatch versus CloudTrail and explain a little bit what the difference between these are. So we will get started. So CloudWatch monitors your system performance, your metrics, your logs, alarms, dashboards, and CloudTrail tracks API activity, user identity, actions, timestamps. So CloudWatch is the answer to what is happening now. CloudTrail is the answer to who did what. So again, it's very important just to kind of break it down that's why if someone asks you a question about um, performance, I need to, know what is happening. CloudWatch is going to be the answer to that. If someone wants to know who did something, not what, but who did, who changed this S3 bucket, that's going to be through CloudTrail. So again, CloudWatch answers the what is happening now, and CloudTrail is the who did what. Now, advanced CloudWatch features are log insights for querying logs, SQL-like syntax for troubleshooting, metric streams for real-time export, and integrates with external monitoring tools. All right, so now that we're done with CloudWatch and the beginning of those things, the monitoring, we're going to talk about observability with AWS X-Ray. So X-Ray traces requests across services, and it visualizes microservice architecture. It also identifies latency bottlenecks, and it's useful for debugging distributed systems. Now we go to AWS config and compliance. This tracks your configuration changes over time. It evaluates compliance with rules, can auto-remediate non-compliant resources, and it's key for auditing and governance. The performance pillar. Sorry, I misspelled performance here, but the performance pillar. You want to have a compute optimizer that recommends instance sizing. So it's going to let you know what you guys saw when we do those labs with EC2, when we go over the different sizes you can have. The compute optimizer will be able to tell you which sizing is best for that particular instance. It also uses machine learning based on usage patterns. Now, Trusted Advisor identifies inefficiencies and improves cost and performance. And now, Trusted Advisor is usually, not usually, it is part of the more expensive, closer to enterprise level subscriptions. But it's important to understand what that can entail. AWS organizations and hierarchy. It manages multiple accounts centrally, supports organizational units, enables consolidated billing, and it applies policies across accounts. SCPs or service control policies. This will define the maximum allowed permissions, but they do not grant permissions, and it overrides even admin access if deny exists. And these are used for organization-wide guardrails. And IAM evaluation logic. So it's explicit deny overrides everything. Then the SCPs and resource policies, then permission boundaries, then identity policies, and must have explicit allow and no deny. So again, this is the logic when you have for IAM evaluation. The IAM Identity Center. So it's centralized access to AWS accounts, supports SAML and identity providers, has single sign-on across environments, and it replaces AWS SSO. The IAM permissions boundaries, it has a limit maximum permissions a user can grant. It's used for delegated administration, prevents privilege escalation, and it's common for junior admin controls. We've gone over this a little bit when we were talking about IAM earlier in the course. KEM, the key management service. This is another thing we've talked about throughout the course. This helps manage your encryption keys. You have customer managed, AWS managed, and AWS owned, as we've talked, and you've also seen in the console when we go and make various different labs. It controls access and rotation, and it's central to encryption strategy. Envelope encryption. KMS creates the data key. The data key encrypts the data. The master key encrypts the data key, and then overall, this improves performance and scalability. Protecting data in transit. So when we have data in transit, we can use the AWS Certificate Manager, which manages your SSL and your TLS certificates. It also enforces HTTPS on your load balancing and your CloudFront, and it protects data between client and the server. So again, this is also one of our labs when we discussed you want to make sure that you have data in transit protected just as much as you have it when it's sitting right in your AWS. And security. So when it comes to securing all your data in Edge, we have AWS WAF, which blocks web attacks. You have Shield, which defends against the DDoS attacks. And then there also is a Shield Standard versus Advanced. And it protects internet-facing applications. So anything that's, public on the internet is now going to be protected. Automated governments. GuardDuty detects threats using machine learning. It finds suspicious activity, unauthorized access, crypto mining, any of those things. The inspector scans for vulnerabilities, and it covers EC2 and container images. And now here's this. I actually will make you guys, I'll upload a better one of these. I don't know how well you can see it, but just to show you the primary AWS service and the exam buzzwords you have for that. So for SageMaker, notebooks, endpoints, training jobs, that's really what SageMaker is used for. Then we're talking about auditing, that's CloudTrail, because anything with governance, compliance, or API history. Because remember, CloudTrail is the who. Identity in IAM organizations, that's anything that's least privilege, SCPs, and federations. And then KMS and security, anything with rotation, envelopes, encryption, any of those things. So yes, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be at class this week, but I wanted to go over security just so when we come in on Tuesday, I'll be able to go a little bit deeper into both of these things. You guys can also feel free to catch up on any of the labs you haven't had a chance to do. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email or text me, and I will talk to you guys soon.